Are you on the fence about the Chase Sapphire Reserve and if you should open it, close it, renew it? Well, today I'm going to be listing 5 reasons why I personally do not have the Chase Sapphire Reserve open and why I don't plan on opening it in the foreseeable future. This card's been getting so much hype recently, so why wouldn't I want to open it? Well, for some people, it is a fantastic card, depending on your spending, travel, your lifestyle, whatever it may be. Some people will get some extraordinary value from the Sapphire Reserve, but unfortunately, that's just not me. So it really comes down to you and if you think this card is worth it. So of course, be sure to do the math and just determine if this card and what it brings to the table is right for you, as it can be a really, really good card. But let's get into why it's not a good card, at least for myself. Now, I'm sure most of you already know some of the credits and benefits that come with the Sapphire Reserve. And if you don't, I actually did make a video, a very in-depth video between the Sapphire Preferred and the Sapphire Reserve. So if you want to learn more about it and see the nitty-gritty details, check out that video. Otherwise, let's just get into the reasons why I don't have the card open. So reason number one is a pretty obvious one, and that is the hefty annual fee that comes with this card. It has a $550 annual fee, and it also comes with a $75 authorized user fee. So right off the bat, you have to think about the money you're putting forward for this card because you're basically prepaying for any of the benefits and credits that come with this card and any value you can get from it. You have to pay for upfront, and then it's your job to basically bring that effective annual fee down and get some outsized value from the card. But that's all up to you, and everyone's lives can change drastically throughout 12 months. And so there is no guarantee that you'll be getting a ton of value from the card. And if you don't, then that's on you, and now you're out of the money. So aside from all of the credits and benefits that may come with the card, just looking at that annual fee, you do have to realize it's $550 and another $75 for anyone to be added as an authorized user. I mean, let's face it, for a lot of people, that's quite a bit of money just to hold a credit card open for a year. Which that then leads me into reason number two why I don't have the card open, and that would be the credits and benefits that come with this card to help offset the annual fee. And in my opinion, they just don't do that for me. As we all know, it does come with a $300 travel credit, and of course, it's the best travel credit in the game because you can use it for anything that codes as travel, and there's no work on your end to get that credit to post. However, what about the other $250 that you have to offset with that $550 annual fee? Well, some obvious easy credits and benefits to use would of course be TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, as well as some lounge access that comes with the card. But Global Entry is technically only valued at like $20 to $25 a year because you get it every 4 to 5 years. And lounge access can be very difficult to actually value the exact price point for it because it really depends on how much you travel, if there's any lounges at those airports you'd be traveling to, any other cards you have that also have lounge access. So we'll get into that more later. So stick around for the last reason I actually don't have this card, as it's a bit different from some others that you may have heard, and it gets into more detail about the lounge access specifically. Okay, so is there anything else that this card comes with? Well, it does have some few random coupon-like benefits, including DoorDash as well as Instacart. And technically Lyft Pink, but in my case, I have no chance of using that. So what about DoorDash? I mean, you technically get Dash Pass with the Sapphire Reserve, and you also get a credit every single month. But the problem is, I don't really use DoorDash ever. Now, could I implement DoorDash into my everyday lifestyle? Yes, because I would use it to pick up food that I'm already going to order anyways. But in that case, I would likely be paying a fee to do so. And so instead of paying $10 at Chipotle, I'd be paying $13. So now I'm paying $3 more. So regardless, I would not be getting the full credit for DoorDash. And not only that, but of course I have the Amex Gold card and I already have to deal with those food credits and benefits. And so I'd rather just keep it to one card and not an additional card. And so what about Instacart? Well, same thing. You get a membership there and you also get a credit every single month. But I have never used Instacart and I don't really plan on using it because I have a local grocery store. They have an app that I can use where I save a ton of money that way. And I don't feel like paying for the additional fees that come with Instacart. Again, even if you do a pickup. There could be more to Instacart, but truthfully, I haven't done much research on it because I'm okay with the way I currently shop for groceries. And so I don't want to change another part of my life just to accommodate this card. Maybe in the future, one day I will, but for now, I just don't think it's worth it. And then, like I said, with Lyft Pink, I currently live in a suburban city, so there's just no reason for me to have it. I don't really use Uber or Lyft because I have my own car, and so I just take that everywhere. Otherwise, it would potentially be when I'm on vacation. I might need a Lyft, but it's just not worth it in my case. All right, so enough of the coupon talk. Let's move on to reason number three, which is not being able to utilize the 50% boost on points when using the Chase Travel Portal. So, in my opinion, this is kind of a big one, at least for me, because a lot of people do mention the 50% bonus. So, basically, your points are worth 1.5 cents per point on any travel booked in the portal. And they mention that because it's a nice floor, which I do agree with. It is nice to have a floor of a 1.5 cents per point. However, I currently value my points closer to 2 cents per point, maybe like 1.8 cents per point, because as a points and miles nerd, I can typically find redemptions at that 1.8 to 2 cents per point because I know the ins and outs of finding those redemptions, including some domestic flights as well. And I also enjoy doing that sort of thing. I enjoy finding and researching and doing my best to find the best possible redemptions, as it kind of has like a thrill factor to it for me. So I just enjoy doing it. So personally, I would rather use those points for redemption of at least that 1.8 to 2 cents per point. And then the off chance that I can't find any redemptions around that and they're much less, at that point, I'm okay with just spending cash. Reason being is I don't earn a ton of points through organic spending. I pretty much earn everything through sign up bonuses because it's just my wife and we don't spend a ton of money on our everyday lives. I don't have some extravagant business with a ton of business expenses, so I don't earn points that way. And I haven't really earned many points off referrals besides maybe some family and friends. So I don't earn a ton of points, and I'd rather use those points for a higher redemption because I'm confident in my own ability to find those redemptions to get me the most value. And like I said, if I can't find that value, then I'll just pay with cash and just earn more points that way. So personally, if I'm not going to use that benefit, then there's no reason for me to have the reserve. And also, it's technically not a 50% benefit for myself because I already have the Sapphire Preferred. So it's more of a 25% bonus as I'm already getting another 25% bonus on the Preferred. But even then, I still wouldn't really use it. Of course, that can be a game changer for some people who don't have the time or just don't want to do the research for specific redemptions. And so instead, they can just book through the travel portal and know they're going to get a 1.5 cent per point redemption, which is fantastic. But I enjoy the thrill of it and I have time to find those redemptions. So that's what I'm going to stick to. All right, so moving on to reason number 4, and that is that this card isn't much of an earning card. I say that because it has some decent multipliers to it, but at the same time, so does every other Chase card on the market. It has that popular 3x on dining, but so do all the Freedom cards, and I also have 4x on my Amex Gold. So if I want to spend on dining, I can just use one of those cards. Any of the extra portal boosts that you get from booking through the portal, well, I also get on my Venture X to the Capital One portal. So again, it's not really a huge deal. I will say there is one difference with the Reserve in that it does have 3x points on all travel purchases. So basically anything that codes as travel, you get 3x back on. So that is nice to have, but the Preferred also has 2x on travel. So it's only a 1 point difference, which would require quite a bit of spend to break even on that. Now, all of this also goes towards the Preferred because they're very similar cards. So anything I'm saying for these earning multipliers also go towards that Sapphire Preferred, but at least the Sapphire Preferred is only a $95 card rather than a $550 card. As someone who doesn't like to spend too much on annual fees, at least as of yet, it's a much easier pill to swallow. Okay, so just before we get into that final reason on why I don't have the reserve in my wallet, if you enjoyed the video and want to help support the channel, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe as well. But let's get into that last reason, which the last one is that there are other alternatives to the Chase Sapphire Reserve. So what do I mean by that? Well, there are other cards that have very similar benefits to the Sapphire Reserve and coming in at a cheaper price point. Of course, the Chase Sapphire Preferred is one of those options, but if you wanted a more premium luxury travel card that also comes with lounge access, let's say, there's another card specifically that I'm thinking of, which is the Chase Ritz-Carlton credit card. Now, I know, this card does not earn Chase UR points. It's very devastating. However, there are other credits and benefits that come with this card that are very similar to the Reserve. So the card comes in at a $450 annual fee, which is $100 cheaper than the Reserve, and it also has a $300 travel credit. Now, this is an airline incidental credit, so it's much more restrictive compared to that Reserve travel credit that can be used on anything. However, it's still an option, and I think many people can at least get, let's say, half the value of it. So we'll say $150 worth airline incidentals. That would bring that effective annual fee down to $300, but now you're thinking, well, $300, the Reserve is $250 effective annual fee, so what else is there? Well, the Ritz-Carlton comes with a Marriott Bonvoy 85K free night award every single account anniversary year. That 85K free night award can be used on a ton of Marriott Bonvoy properties, which would easily offset the $300 effective annual fee that you're currently sitting at. Honestly, that free night could be used at hotels that are worth 500, 600, if not more. And so at that point, you're already in the positive, which is the nice thing about this card is you're doing so by just two simple credits, the $300 incidental credit, as well as that free night award, which in my opinion kind of reminds me of the Adventure X, where there's only two main credits that you have to use to offset that annual fee. I personally find that a lot easier to justify and just much easier to use overall compared to the different coupon style benefits that the reserve comes with. So now at that point, you've effectively covered the annual fee on that Ritz-Carlton card, and you still get other benefits that come with it that also match the Chase Sapphire Reserve. The biggest one being the lounge access that you get with this card. It also comes with that same Priority Pass lounge access that the Reserve has, and you also get the Chase Sapphire Lounge access that the Reserve gives you too. And the nice thing here is that the Ritz-Carlton comes with free authorized users, and so you can get an infinite amount of people into those lounges completely for free. In my case, that's one of the biggest reasons because I thought about upgrading the Reserve because I wanted that Sapphire Lounge access thanks to one opening in my home airport soon. But when I saw the Ritz-Carlton also had that same access, technically better access, for a cheaper price point and better alternative benefits, I would, of course, go with that. And then another similarity with these cards is they come with the exact same travel insurance coverages and protections and whatnot because they're both Visa Infinite cards. Now, I've recently learned that those travel protections and benefits aren't as great as you might think they are, but still, they are there if you want them, and they're the exact same. And of course, with the Ritz-Carlton, you do get some Marriott Bonvoy specific benefits, the big one being gold status, and then you also get some other Ritz-Carlton benefits like some upgrades or club lounge access, that sort of thing, which is a nice addition. You might not get much use out of it, but it's there. So comparing that Ritz-Carlton to the Sapphire Reserve with some of the reasons on why I don't have the Reserve but do want to have the Ritz-Carlton card, reason number one is that annual fee. The Ritz-Carlton is $100 cheaper, so at least up front, you're paying $100 less. Then reason number two, which are the benefits and credits. And in my opinion, the Ritz-Carlton is much easier to justify thanks to just two main credits on the card. And then there's some other credits on the card that make it even better. So in my case, the effective annual fee would actually be positive most likely, whereas the reserve is sitting at around $250. Then moving on to reason number three, which is the 50% bonus on using points in the Chase Travel Portal. That's pretty much not applicable for the Ritz-Carlton card, but either way, in my case, I'm not using it. On to reason number four, which is the earning potential with the card. And so again, not necessarily applicable because you're earning different points, which are Marriott Bonvoy points. However, if I am staying at a Marriott Bonvoy property, it is a great card to use because you would earn a ton of points. But overall, that's kind of just a flush. And then reason number five, which in my case is the big one, and that is the similarities between the cards for a cheaper card that's easier to justify. I now have that lounge access that the reserve comes with, the protection benefits. And so those things that I wanted with the reserve, of course, mainly the Sapphire Lounge access for my home airport, I can now get on the Ritz-Carlton, and I can do so for other people for free, thanks to the free authorized users that come with the Ritz-Carlton. So due to those reasons that I have just mentioned, I would much rather have the Chase Sapphire Preferred and the Ritz Duo combined together for pretty much the same annual fee, but having those two cards allows me to still earn those Chase UR points while also having much better benefits, at least in my opinion, with the Ritz-Carlton card and bringing some of those similar benefits over that the Reserve has. So what do you guys think? Do you like the CSP and Ritz Duo that I just mentioned, and is that something that's meant for you as well? Or do you want to keep it simple and use the Chase Sapphire Reserve with just one card, one annual fee, and earn those delicious UR points? Let me know down below as it's different for everyone. Otherwise though, that's all I have for you today. So if you enjoyed the video, be sure to support the channel and leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And also watch that other video that just popped up on the screen as YouTube thinks you're going to love it. So check it out. Otherwise, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you all in the next one.